Hey everyone, it's Libby from Maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Warramai First Nations people, that's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Righto, well, didn't get hardly a wink of sleep last night. I'm so looking forward to all these fascist dictatorship regimes in the world to just collapse like empiric regimes always do eventually. The Roman, the Mongolian, the Persian, the British, you name it, they've all reached a desperate pinnacle and then they've literally imploded in on themselves in what almost feels like overnight. I can't wait till they're gone and I can actually get some decent sleep. But it's not about me. This is about you guys and this is about what's going on in the world. So, the news is out that there has been the attack made on Iran. Interestingly enough, I can't find anywhere online that specifies what US military or military equipment was used. The Israelis are out there saying we used these fighter jets, we had 200 fighter jets, so there was this many of this one and this many of that one, and we fired these sorts of missiles at military targets that turned out to be elementary schools, killing at least 85 children and injuring almost as many again. But these regimes, they just absolutely, they don't care. They don't care at all. Um, Now you've got the orange twerp in his blanket fort down at Mar-a-Lago, his makeshift war room that is literally just black blankets strung up in the corner of a ballroom. Gee, really secret and private that is. And apparently he's down there for some sort of Republican fundraiser that he has said that he will be attending. And KKK Levitt has come out and said, if anything, it's even more important that he attends this fundraising event rather than actually overseeing a conflict that he has instigated. Oh my goodness, just the incompetence is so incredible. Then you've got Congress coming out saying, oh, we'll reconvene and during the week and force a vote on this. Like, what a limp tissue. Goodness me. Look, oh, where is it? The tissue, they're even worse than this blooming tissue that I put under my coffee cup that's covered in coffee stains. Like, police. The UN Security Council got together within hours and with discussions and actions and all the rest of it. If they can do that, so can the so-called reps that get paid by the people to represent the people. Oh, anyhow, get off my little soapbox because I know you guys are absolutely with me on all of that. What do I want to have a look at today? I do want to have a look to see where this is going to go. Now, I do have my Light Says Tarot out, but I've also grabbed the predictions deck. You know this deck from a while back. I haven't used it very often. I tend to go to the true crime. But let's have a look at this with this predictions deck. Now, I'm just having a quick look. This card was flipped over before I started shuffling. Classified knowledge. So and betrayed and backstabbed is on the bottom. So I'm wondering what classified knowledge we're going to discover today, potentially. And we've got obviously the big news and betrayed and backstabbed. So there is going to be some big news that comes out that somebody is going to, what do you mean you're still talking about the Epps files? Now, I said the other week, both Iran, because Iran is Russian backed, and Israel have information on the orange twerp that is devastating to him. And he's taken a gamble as to which one is most likely to release information if he goes against them. So obviously he decided to side with Israel rather than Iran, Russia. Okay, what's flung out there? Oh, right. Well, that's interesting. AI tech. Now, while I'm thinking about that, I just want to mention, and I think what this is doing is prompting me to mention it. As per what the guide said on Friday, Anthropic said, yeah, nah, we're not going down this track that what the Pentagon are demanding for AI autonomous population surveillance and weaponry that has no human input. Now, the reason being is apparently Anthropic is the most advanced AI tech out there at the moment that we are aware of, but it only has an 87% accuracy rate. So that's a 13% error rate. 13% error rate when you're talking about a making decision weaponized system is really high, and who actually is held accountable if it goes awry with that 13%. Now, obviously not the Pentagon or the government, because the technology belongs to a contractor. Grok, I believe I have heard, is only about 47% accurate. AI is only as good as the information that goes into it. Rubbish in, rubbish out. That's what we always used to say about data with computers when I was growing up. Rubbish in, rubbish out. Grok is only about 47. Anthropic's supposed to be the best at 87% accuracy. But now OpenAI have come on, put their hand up and said, we'll do it for the money. Oh, goodness me. I just absolutely... They don't think it through, do they? Anyhow, what are we looking at? And then I want to have a talk to you about follow up on my Steve visit the other day, because there's more to it. Okay, what is coming next with this attack on Iran? Now, the Orange Twerp is claiming that the Ayatollah Khomeini is deceased. I believe that is very possible, and Pendulum agrees with that. Doesn't mean the regime change is going to go the way the US regime is wanting it to go, because at the end of the day, the power is in the hands of the people. Okay, come on down. Let's have a look. What is coming up here? Right, well, there's the military plane, the aircraft that were involved. Israel came out and said they used 500 fighter jets, hitting 200 fighter jets, naming the jets themselves. They wouldn't happen to have been US made, of course they were. That hit 500 targets. So military planes is the signifier here. It was an aerial bombardment. You can crash and burn with an aerial bombardment, like they did, apparently wiping out, obliterating the Iranian nuclear program 6 months ago, and apparently killed the Ayatollah then as well, allegedly. But that does not actually complete a war, as the Ukrainians would know. Okay, so the military plane challenged by the surveillance records, you've got all these gas masked people in the background. The challenge is surveillance records. There's going to be, so it was an aerial bombardment. There is going to be footage that comes out that is just absolutely atrocious in regards to the failures of this bombardment. That's what I'm getting. The elementary school being one, but there's going to be more if you have a look at all those figures behind there. Now, for those that have followed me for a while will know that I have been seeing for years a nuke explosion with a madman demanding that the button be pushed, and a nuke explosion which is going to make the whole world sit back on their heels and go, holy, this is not who we are. We need to stop this now. and that will be sort of the last hurrah of these dictators. Now, I don't know who, there are many dictator madmen in the world who have nuclear weaponry. You've got Russia, you've got Israel, you've got the United States, you've got um, um, is it India and Pakistan as well? But you've also, there's the, the claims of Iran. I don't think they do. But those three, US, Russia, Israel, who are going to be the ones that will push that button and make the whole world go, holy F, this is not, this has to stop. And it's not just the UN Security Council saying it, it's going to be huge. I always get that the missile itself will detonate as it's in the silo or just emerging from the silo. I can't seem to pinpoint where it is, but I'm still getting that imagery. Okay, come on down. So the footage that comes out is just going to be absolutely devastating to both Israel and the US. Okay, where are we going here? Foreign occupation. Is the energy stewing in? Yeah, absolutely. There will probably be an attempt of an occupation. Now, as the retired general said, a war, what did he say? Because it was a really good quote. Let me get it correct. The retired lieutenant general said, a war with no goals ends up as a forever war. So there may be boots on the ground that goes in as a follow-up. We'll see where this goes. In the past, assistance and help. Yes, the US assisting the Israel. Well, I think it's US assisting Israel. It's not, I keep getting the lead was Israel on this. Okay, let's see where we go. Right, then we've got security cameras. Very similar, two very similar videos. Surveillance records and security cameras. Why is the security cameras over the surveillance records? Okay, this is on the ground. This is I'm getting this is from the military, the security cameras. It's like, if I say it's like body cam for the pilots and stuff, I don't know what they have as their cameras. I'm getting the security cameras is like body cam or whatever for the pilots. Yeah, controlled puppet, absolutely. The immediate future is the controlled puppet. And that is the orange twerp with this order. Controlled by whom? I think he's got multiple controllers as he flips from one to the other. Oh, goodness me. Corrupt dealings, absolutely, externally, internally. A disappointing outcome. So we've got the corrupt dealings followed by a disappointing outcome, because I keep getting that. I mean, send two real estate slumlords to negotiate international policy on nuclear armament and stuff, like, really? This is the corrupt dealings, but I don't think the outcome is going to be what the regime expect. What they're expecting is to overthrow the regime in Iran and install their guy. I don't think it's going to happen. They've asked the military, I think there's already the US regime, not you guys. I'm always talking about the regime here. And aside from the fact, the Orange Twerp declared this via his untruth trash social. What the holy fudge? Um, he's tweeted out, or whatever, he posted out, or whatever you like to call it, calling on the Iranian military to rise up and then the people to rise up, if I get that right, or the people to rise up against the military. It's not going to work how they think it's going to. Oh, absolutely, the hopes and fears hiding something. Absolutely. They're going to be hiding something really big, especially the controlling of the puppet. Okay, what have we got? Science breakthrough, royal family, and a sinking ship. Oh dear. I was thinking the Nimitz might have gone down, but she's been officially decommissioned, taken into dock and being decommissioned. So it's not the Nimitz. A science breakthrough, which might have been actual production of nuclear uranium or uranium, and then the royal family, the Ayatollah. This is science breakthrough. The Shah, thank you. Now, not the old one, he's dead. The son of, or the grandson of, the one that was deposed way back when. This is the royal leader, member, whatever, monarch or whatever of Iran that has lived there practically their entire life, I believe, in the US, and the one that the US are going to install. But what's this sinking ship? Evidence of a scandal. Well, yes, we know that. A surprise attack. Military action. Cyber attack. And replace or exchange. Experiment or test. And a controlled narrative. Energy weapon, well, that would be a nuclear weapon. What we got going on here? So what have we got? We've got a ship being sunk. Whose ship? The one carrying the royal family member, perhaps? Evidence of a scandal, well, that would be the release of the Epps files, followed by a surprise attack. If you have a look at the background there, military action, something that is cyber. Now, I'm not saying this is a cyber attack as itself. This feels like it's putting something into a computer. I think this is the nuke thing. Replace or exchange. An exchange of and an experiment or test that goes awry. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm going to grab what cards do I want? I'm going to grab my cards and just see what else we can glean out here. It's not going to go the way the US regime thinks it's going to. Oh, look what's on the bottom. Struck, lightning strike, transformation, help being given for strength going forward, for growth, for growth. The cowards are going to find themselves imprisoned or restricted. Okay. Keep getting that. Okay. No, they're telling me, right, that's all they wanted to tell me. This is so multifaceted. Just trying to find this story. Show me. I will use the plain old trip and wait. The Smith-Waite tarot deck. What? Oh, there's the authorities, strength, offer, manipulation, new opportunity, treason, downfall. Right. The regime that holds the keys. The Orange Twerp Festival unable to keep his mouth shut, but they're going to make some sort of offer here. It's a manipulative offer with a manipulative offer being made, but these two cards to finish up with, not good. The Three of Swords, Ten of Swords, treason. Partnerships, agreements being revealed with the Moon card. There's something really, it's not going to turn out how this regime thinks it's going to. Let's have a look. What do we need to know? And I put that back randomly, and there it is again. The Lovers card, the contracts and agreements. How's this going to play out for the Orange Twerp regime? I'm not going to look at Israel, I'm going to look at the Orange Twerp regime. How's this going to play out for the Orange Twerp regime? Karma coming and rash action, racing in with that Knight of Swords. The Wheel of Fortune. Everything's gonna turn. I hear there's been mass protests worldwide that have sprung up. That's brilliant to see. Congress should be having their backsides in Congress 12 hours ago, voting on this. Right. The challenge is what is happening overseas. There's going to be some sort of information that's brought forward with the Page of Wands. You've got justice in the past, crimes against humanity, could be the International Criminal Court, actions having consequences. Okay, so this was a highly illegal strike, and then we've got the Death card at the top. This is this is the end. This is the end. You've got the Knight of Cups, the Smug Merchant. Okay, so this is the here and now. It is the death knell of the Emperor. This could also be the death of the Ayatollah here that will bring about a new beginning. So news about the death of the Ayatollah. Offer being made, but the false knight offer. Externally, you've got the red-hatted smug merchant thinking the cups are all lined up in a row and it's going to go how they want. Okay, I'm going to say that this is the death of the Ayatollah, the announcement of such, the offer to put in the US's choice. They think they've got it all in the bag, but internally you've got the Knight of Pentacles. Mercenary information being brought forward. You've got hopes and fears is this rah, rah, rah from Mar-a-Lago that people are walking away from. It's not going to end well for this. And there's the infighting. Throwing under the bus, the infighting. This is from the Orange Twerp, the Hermit, an investigation, shining a light, a legal's crossroad. Oh, police, not a crossroad. And yeah, declaration of treason, the Ace of Pentacles, big opportunity here, and the King of Swords, and then the Queen of Swords, and then the military coming in, the Chariot, to remove the Emperor. You've got the plan for what was to happen overseas is based on lies and deceit and betrayal. And as I said on the bottom, we've got the Knight of Swords, the rash action, them walking away, and then you've got the big stick, and there's my the Biden, potentially the Biden decree. End of an era, Ace of Swords, Four of Swords, retreat. It's not going to go. It is not going to go the way the US regime intended it. Now, I am going to just have a chat about, far out man, about, so I mentioned the other day, Steve. Now, and a few of you went, who? In the shower? Don't worry, Steve is a spirit. And I know it's such a weird name for a spirit. That's just the name I knew him during life. And water is fantastic conduits for the spirituality. And the shower seems to be one of the few spaces where my mind has empty moments for the spirit guides to get in there. So what happened the other day is that, let me go back to the beginning, ages ago. Years ago when I was working for a particular company, this is 25, 30 years ago, there was an older gentleman there. His name was Steve, and he was just the most amazing, fabulous person. And I would call him my first spiritual mentor. He encouraged me to buy my first tarot deck. He used to laugh at me. We were charging around the office. He said, you're just dragging this big energy field along behind you. And we used to have some amazing conversations. Lost touch with him when I left work. And then about 15 years ago, I heard he had passed away. Now, about 5 years ago, after I'd been introduced to Meister and I was starting to really open myself up to spirits coming through, etc., he popped in to see me in the shower. Now, he actually had with him another guy I used to work with at the same time called Keith. I know, strange names for spirits. Called Keith. Now, Keith and Steve were best friends. And I went, what are you doing here? And Steve just said to me, I'm showing him the ropes. So basically what Steve's role was, and he calls himself a rope shower. So I couldn't remember Keith's name to see whether he'd recently passed or not. So I was frantically trying to search, but couldn't find anything. So I suspect what had happened is Keith had recently passed and Steve was there showing him the ropes of how the spirit world operates. Now, my mum said before she passed that she was not coming back and she was going to be a mentor of souls. I thought that was amazing too. So we get to choose these roles when we pass. And so Steve is a rope shower. Now, from what I can gather, because he popped in again the other day, and I went, oh, what are you here for? Are you here for Spot? Now, Spot's my dog, the white one with the big black spot on his back. He is in last stage cancer, still loving life, still eating his food, still able to go on short walks and stuff like that. We haven't made the decision as of yet, but when he gets to the stage where he's off his food or he's struggling to breathe or he can't get up off the floor or anything, we will make the call then. So I said to Steve, are you here for Spot? And he said, no, I'm here for, and he gave me a name. Now, it is personal. It's not anyone famous or anyone well-known, so I'm just telling you it's not the orange twerp that he was here for. But the name he gave me, yes, is somebody who is in that sort of range of stage. And it was the name he called them was their birth name, not the name that everybody calls them. So what I'm trying to say is that if you question whether it's your imagination or not, when you're getting messages from guides or chatting to guides or whatever, if it is not something that you would normally think of, normally associate, or just anything along those, it's outside your normal wheelhouse, trust that it's the guides. And the more you trust it, the more you lean into it, the more they will talk to you, and therefore you build up that trust over time. So, okay, I am now aware that Steve's come for this person. We had a bit of a chat, and he told me, what he would be doing to ease this person into their passing. So it was actually quite nice. Now, reason I'm explaining that a little bit more is last night in the shower. Oh man, why the shower? Because it's the only space they seem to be able to get in. I had a vision come through really powerfully of the orange twerp there was a young military person, US military person, short back and sides, crew cut, young, lean, handsome, as they, when the fit ones tend to be, marched up to the orange twerp, saluted him and said, "Sir, you need to come with us." Now, scared the absolute bejesus out of the orange twerp, because behind this young man were all the people that he was facing, all the people that had passed due to his decisions or lack of decision. So you're talking about contractors, you're talking about people starving in third world countries, you're talking about those that passed from COVID, you're talking about those that have passed in conflict. All these people were standing behind this young military man. Now, I had the uniform that this young man had on was blue camouflage, the little splotchy in the blue. In Australia, the blue camouflage is the Australian Air Force. That's their casual uniform. I mean, they have the dress uniform, but that's their everyday more uniform. So I Googled, and it's actually the Navy's uniform in the US. Had a little, the name tag on it. Was not of rank. So he had on the fatigue pants tucked into the socks, into the boots, and the shirt, tucked into the pants, etc. Very smart. Did not have a hat on though. In Australia, I don't think you have to have a hat to salute. If you don't have the hat, can't remember, but you can't salute if you haven't got the hat. Or that's how it used to be when I was involved in the military 40 odd years ago. Okay, so he had on the blue camouflage, naval. I don't know if there is any naval personnel, young naval personnel who have yet passed due to the orange twerp, but this young man was the one that came for him, and behind him were all the others, and the orange twerp, was terrified. Now, the fact that I saw that indicates to me that it's getting very close, that this event is going to happen. I've always seen him stroking out first and spending some time incapacitated in his own body. I don't know how long that period is, but it's telling me that it's really close, that the rope shower, I don't quite know what to call this young man. That's just what Steve calls himself. I don't know what the official title is coming for him soon. So let's see how this goes. Deep breath. As I said, I can't find anything that says what US military was involved other than a blanket US military, whereas the Israelis are saying specifics. The regime change is not going to occur as it is intended by these aggressive forces. And I'll have a bit of a better look on it tomorrow. Okay. Try and get some sleep. Stay strong. Love to you all. Take care.